Ever stared at a phone spec sheet and wondered why 3 nanometers sounds so much better than 7 nanometers? But both chips seem to handle your Instagram scrolling just fine? You're not alone. Today, we're cracking open the mystery behind those tiny numbers, 7 nanometers, 5 nanometers, 3 nanometers, and trust me, the truth is way more interesting than you'd think. So, what do these numbers actually mean? Here's the thing, they don't mean what you probably assume. Back in the early days of semiconductors, a node name like 7 nanometers literally referred to the smallest feature on a chip. The gate length of a transistor. That gate is like a tiny switch that controls the flow of electricity. The smaller it is, the more switches you can cram onto a chip, which means faster performance and lower power consumption. For decades, the node number was a direct physical measurement. Simple, right? But here's where it gets messy. Around the 28 nanometers era, physics started fighting back. When you try to shrink transistors below about 20 nanometers, electrons start doing weird quantum things, leaking through barriers, causing heat, messing up signals. Engineers had to invent new transistor designs, like FinFETs. Those are transistors shaped like little fins sticking up from the chip surface, giving better control over the current. Suddenly, the physical gate length wasn't shrinking as fast as the node name suggested. And chipmakers realized something: nobody was checking their measurements. Now here's what's really going on. Node names have basically become marketing terms. They're more like generational labels. Think of them as Generation 7, Generation 5, Generation 3, rather than actual physical dimensions. TSMC's 7 nanometers process, for example, doesn't have a 7 nanometer gate length. In fact, some features on that chip are closer to 40 or 50 nanometers. Crazy, right? The number just signals that it's the next step in performance and efficiency compared to the previous node. It's like how your iPhone 15 is better than your iPhone 14, even though both are roughly the same size. Let me give you a concrete example. Remember when you upgraded from an iPhone 11 to an iPhone 14 Pro? The iPhone 11 used TSMC's 7 nanometers process. The 14 Pro used the 4 nanometers process, which is really just an enhanced version of 5 nanometers. That jump gave you better battery life, faster graphics, and cooler operation. But here's the kicker: the actual transistor density. How many switches fit in a square millimeter? More than doubled between those generations. So the performance gain is real, even if the NM number is more of a vibe than a measurement. Now, you might ask, if it's all marketing, why do investors care so much? Great question. Here's why. Moving to a smaller node name is incredibly expensive and difficult. A cutting-edge fab, that's a chip factory, costs over $10 billion to build. TSMC's 3 nanometers process required years of R&D and new tools like extreme ultraviolet lithography, which uses lasers so powerful they vaporize tiny droplets of tin to create light. Only 2 companies in the world can make the most advanced nodes right now: TSMC and Samsung. Intel is catching up, but they're not quite there yet. So when you hear that Apple's next A18 chip will be on TSMC's 3 nanometers process, or that Nvidia's next AI GPU will use a 2 nanometers node, it signals a leap in performance that can drive massive revenue growth. For investors, node migrations are like watching a new iPhone launch. They create demand, boost margins, and separate winners from losers in the supply chain. But the actual number? Honestly, it's become a badge of honor, not a blueprint. Common misconception time. People think that smaller node always means smaller chips. Not true. The chip's physical size, its die area, depends on how many transistors you pack in. A 3 nanometers chip might actually be physically larger than a 7 nanometers chip if it has way more transistors. The real benefit is that you can fit more power into the same space while using less energy. That's why your smartphone can edit 4K video without melting in your hand. Another thing, not all 3 nanometers is created equal. TSMC's 3 nanometers is denser and more power efficient than Samsung's 3 nanometers, based on early benchmarks. So when you're evaluating a company's tech advantage, the foundry matters as much as the node name. TSMC is currently the leader. And that's why every major chip designer, Apple, AMD, Nvidia, Qualcomm, fights for their capacity. Here's the bottom line. Node names are useful shorthand for generational progress, but they're not literal measurements. They're like car model years. A 2024 model is better than a 2023 model, but both have 4 wheels and an engine. For investors, the key is to watch which companies are on the leading edge and which fabs are making the next leap. TSMC's dominance in advanced nodes is why it's become one of the most valuable companies in Asia. Next time, we'll dive into the story of TSMC itself, the giant behind the world's most advanced chips, and why it's practically irreplaceable in the global supply chain. Subscribe to Taiwan Tech Pulse for more Taiwan Tech 101.